The Salween River, known as the Nujiang in China and the Thenlwin in Myanmar, is one of the longest and least disturbed rivers in Southeast Asia. Stretching over 2,815 kilometers, 1,749 miles, it begins in the snow-capped mountains of the Tibetan Plateau, flows through the rugged landscapes of Yunnan in China, cuts across the borderlands of Myanmar, and finally empties into the Andaman Sea near Malamayan. Despite being one of Asia's great rivers, the Salween remains less known compared to the Mekong or the Yangtze, which has allowed it to maintain much of its wild and natural character. Geographic path and natural features. The source of the Salween lies high in the Qinghai Tibet Plateau at elevations above 5,000 meters. From there, it plunges southward, cutting through deep gorges and winding valleys. In Yunnan, the river forms part of the famous Three Parallel Rivers region, where it runs almost side by side with the Yangtze and Mekong, separated only by high mountain ranges. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is celebrated for its stunning biodiversity and dramatic topography. Crossing into Myanmar, the Salween continues through steep and forested hills, passing the Shan, Karen, and Mon states. Its lower basin is characterized by fertile plains and deltas that support agriculture and local settlements. Finally, it widens into an estuary before meeting the Andaman Sea, where it contributes to coastal ecosystems rich in mangroves and fisheries. Ecology and biodiversity. The Salween River Basin is one of the most ecologically diverse regions in Asia. Its course traverses multiple climatic zones, from alpine meadows and temperate forests in Tibet to tropical jungles in Myanmar. This gradient creates habitats for a wide variety of plants and animals. Endangered species such as the snow leopard, red panda, and takin inhabit the upper reaches, while elephants, tigers, and gibbons thrive in the dense forests downstream. The river also sustains numerous freshwater fish species, many of which are critical for the diets and livelihoods of local people. Its floodplains and wetlands provide seasonal breeding grounds for migratory birds, linking global ecosystems. Because the river remains largely free-flowing, unlike the heavily dammed Mekong, the Salween still exhibits natural cycles of flooding and sediment deposition, which maintain soil fertility and ecological balance in its basin. Human settlement and cultural significance. The Salween Basin has long been home to diverse ethnic communities. In China, Tibetan, Lisu, and New peoples live along its banks, practicing traditional farming and pastoralism. In Myanmar, it is closely tied to the Karen, Shan, Mon, and other ethnic minorities who depend on the river for fishing, agriculture, and transportation. The river also plays a role in spiritual traditions. In Tibetan Buddhism and local animist practices, rivers are often revered as sacred lifelines that connect humans to the natural and spiritual world. Folk tales, rituals, and songs passed down through generations reflect the cultural identity formed around the Salween's waters. Its valleys have historically been difficult to access due to rugged terrain and political instability in border regions. As a result, many communities along the Salween remain relatively isolated, preserving languages, traditions, and ways of life less influenced by modern urban development. Economic role. For centuries, the Salween has supported local economies through agriculture, fishing, and trade. Its fertile floodplains allow the cultivation of rice, maize, sesame, and vegetables. Fishing provides an essential protein source for riverside communities. Timber, bamboo, and medicinal plants from the surrounding forests also contribute to livelihoods. In modern times, the river's vast hydropower potential has attracted attention. Plans for large dams, particularly in Myanmar and China, have raised both hopes for energy development and concerns about environmental and social impacts. Many local communities and environmental groups argue that such projects threaten ecosystems, displace villages, and undermine the river's natural integrity. Environmental and political challenges. The Salween is not just a river of natural beauty but also one of geopolitical importance. It flows through regions marked by political tension, including disputed ethnic territories in Myanmar. This has often complicated conservation and development efforts. Deforestation, mining, and agricultural expansion are emerging threats that could degrade the river basin's ecosystems. Sediment pollution, habitat loss, and disruption of fish migration are pressing concerns. Nevertheless, grassroots movements and international organizations have called for sustainable management, highlighting the Salween as a rare example of a largely free-flowing river in Asia. Conclusion. The Salween River is more than just a geographic feature, it is a lifeline of culture, biodiversity, and resilience. Flowing through some of the most dramatic landscapes on Earth, It sustains communities, nurtures ecosystems, and connects diverse traditions. While it faces mounting pressures from development and environmental change, the Salween's relatively undisturbed state offers hope for conservation and sustainable coexistence. In a region where many rivers have been transformed beyond recognition, the Salween stands as a reminder of the profound bond between people and nature. Its future depends on balancing human needs with ecological preservation, ensuring that this wild river continues to flow freely for generations to come.